So same as the first DLC, you want to get all your runes and all your weapon mods in order. The only thing that changes for me is instead of sticky bombs on the combat shotgun, I'm going to use the full auto mod, and it's only because of the stone imps that they introduced in this DLC. So the start here, I don't even think you really have to fight anything here. I just played a little stupid, let's be fair. And I figured I had to take out a few of these enemies, especially the Cyber Mancubus there. But I'm pretty sure you don't have to fight any of these guys and you could just go right past them. And as you see though, you see me just using typical stuff to take them out. It's nothing to write home about. Right here though, I do recommend when you jump over, jump on the wall and then get off of it immediately so you don't get hit by, the little environmental trap there. As you come up here, there is armor behind you, but it's a trap. They're gonna spawn a lot more stuff there. Don't worry about it. As soon as this encounter is, happening, you have two carcasses, two Kako demons, and two Hell Knights, but they kind of don't spawn everything at once, as you see. One Hell Knight, one Kako demon, and two of the carcasses have been spawned. But as you kill them, they'll, replace them, right? The whole gimmick here is they're trying to introduce you to these, like, purple fucking zombies. And the whole thing about those zombies is you don't exactly want to hit them first because they will buff the enemies around them in the arena. And it's not like the worst buff in the world. It's, I'm pretty sure, equivalent to what, like a buff totem or something. It's definitely no possession. So the whole gimmick is leave them for last. You don't even have to kill them. Take out everything else, then they will just die. And get used to it because they're going to be in every single level in this DLC. So once that's all said and done though, you gotta guide the dog over to this little area over here, and he's gonna light the torch for you, and you gotta hold the area again, just like in Blood Swamps, right? So the gimmick here is every single enemy that spawns is gonna be, buff totemed. A lot of it is just fodder guys, but eventually there's a Hell Knight and a Pinky that'll spawn. But once you kill Pinky, you're actually kind of free from this area, but you have to dodge like what, 5 pinkies charging at you while they're buffed up to go and get the buff totem itself. And it's not that bad, but if you don't know it's on the way, it can surprise you. So here it is, I'm telling you, there's the pinky. You kill the last fodder guy, then this whole thing drops. The area's, free basically. Now you can go past all these guys. It's like 4 pinkies, right? But what you want to do, in my opinion, is just dodge over them with, the meat hook, get the freeze on them, and use blood punch if you really need to, and, that is that. But the next thing you're going to have to fight is the Armored Baron, right? I'll show you how I handle them. I mean, it's probably how most people handle them, but I just figured out the easiest way for me, so here it is. Lead with the Precision Bolt first if you have Chrono Strike equipped, just to make it easier on you to actually land the attack. Then once you do that, you swap into the rocket launcher, get a frag grenade at his feet if you want, then freeze him, just lock on burst him down, and then when you're out of ammo for that or you feel like he's had enough, just super shotgun him. I showed you it in slow motion just to kind of show you it all. It's not like super complicated, but if it helps the brain actually internalize it, then fuck it. If it helps, right? Other than that, though, it's really just kind of showing you the enemy, right? This whole encounter. Now you have to take out a bunch more stuff with those guys, right? In this next one. As you see, giant tentacle, it's nothing to write home about. You take that out, it'll spawn an Arachnotron. I'm pretty sure there's another one in here. I just go to this one first because it's in the direct path I'm taking already. And if you need a little bit of guidance, try to use that little grapple hook. You don't want to stay on the ground too long in this area. And as soon as the Armored Baron spawns, I kind of recommend to, if you need to, get him back where you fought the first one, take him out like that. If you don't have the luck that I would have had in practice, just do something kind of like that where, you hit him with rockets, and if you miss the ice bomb, stun him with the microwave beam. It is really good to use that to just kind of make demons stop for a second. You saw the Cyber Mancubus was there. He's nothing. This Pain Elemental, you know, it's dealt with already. You want to use your Arbalest and your mobility as much as you can here. Because as you see, there's also another Cyber Mancubus, and there's a Hell Knight here chasing you down. So you stomp, you're probably going to get hit by him and comboed up. I just recommend staying off the ground as much as you can, basically, like I said. This whole area, I mean, I basically treat it like floor is lava, right? Other than that, it is kind of just your typical combat encounter. There's Prowlers, there's Cyber Mancubus, there's Pain Elementals, there's Arachnotrons, there's gonna be 2 Doom Hunters. Armored Barons now are the thing that you're gonna have to be getting used to. And as you see, whenever this Doom Hunter tried spawning in, I got a little bit trigger happy with my Ice Bomb. It doesn't really matter, as you see. Doom Hunters are just easy peasy after you get all the upgrades, right? And since these DLCs start you with them, I don't even worry about Doom Hunters, honestly. I'm really more worried about, I don't know, a Prowler catching me, you know, not paying attention to him. Maybe a Caco Demon or a Pain Elemental I didn't know was there. Like, that's the stuff I would worry about. Doom Hunters are not really that bad. They're bad early on in the campaign, the main story, but in here, it ain't nothing, alright? As you can see though, you gotta kill everything in this encounter to actually progress, right? And that even means the zombies. Sadly, I had to go and find both of them. Yeah, because there's 2 of them. I thought this one was the only one. I go right back and I'm like, well, god damn it. Where's the other one? Bam, there it is. So make sure you're actually thorough in this encounter before actually progressing into this light traversal area. I do say light traversal because that was it right there. That was the entire thing, basically. You do use this one jump pad right here to progress a little bit further, but like, come on. This whole level really doesn't have a lot of traversal until the very end. And in here, it's just a bunch of fodder guys until right here, a Revenant pops up. You know, Revenants are probably one of the easier guys, but they can be annoying, so you should still probably respect them, even though it's probably really easy to take them out by now. This next area we're going into right now, it's really just a bunch of imps and soldiers until you kill enough of these guys to spawn 2 Whiplashes and a Hell Knight. Once you do that, though, the encounter is over. I mean, the first part of it. You're gonna have to fight here another 2 more times. So, get used to it in this little area, like actually roaming around it. But don't get too comfortable because one of them's gonna have a restricted area. In this little area right here, where you see me landing in, it'll be there. But, everything gets rocket launched. You have to kill the fodder to move on. If you need a BFG shot, there is a BFG shot in this area. I just don't get it because I don't use the BFG in this mission, I'm pretty sure. So you can grab this suit if you need it, but you really don't need it if you stand in very particular spots, which it's on the edge of this room. And if you have your rocket launcher fully reloaded, basically, with all the ammo is what I'm getting at, this should be a breeze. You kill 3 Hell Knights, you get right through, then a Dread Knight pops out right here. Take him out. Now there should be a Mancubus up here, but for some reason he wasn't there for me. I don't know if it triggers when you get that armor there or what, but your mileage may vary there. So keep that in mind when you attempt this, if you do. Slight traversal area, but the thing about this traversal zone is you can't progress until you kill these 2 Cacos. It's not that bad, right? I tried just skipping them in practice and it just never let me, so I just committed to taking them out. After that, you have to do the whole lead the dog to this brazier thing. I recommend the chain gun because they're gonna flood this area with this little purple goo. You can't move, you can't dodge, you can't do anything. And for the most part, it is just zombies that are gonna spawn. But towards the end, it's gonna be 2 Mancubus. Not at the same time, thank God. But 1 at a time on each side of the zone. On my left and where I was looking right here. This is why I recommend the chain gun. If you have the energy shield ready to go, it's nice and easy. Get a little bubble of damage resistance, you know? Take out enough of these guys and the Mancubus will start spawning. As you see, I look at the wrong side. He spawns on the opposite. I have to kind of play the edge of the little zone here best I can. I'll take a little bit of damage just to be able to move freely. In my opinion, it's kind of worth the trade. After you take out both of them, though, it doesn't even matter if you hit the purple zombies there. Just kill everything with a chain gun, conserve your ammo for the good weapons that you have. After you do that, though, you're done. I mean, with that part, of course, you're gonna get the quad damage to spawn, and you have to kill all these Cybermake Abyss, and pretty sure, yeah, there's a Baron. It's not that bad after you've ran it, once, and you know they're gonna ambush you, and you know the power-up is good enough to survive the entire encounter if you're quick on it, so it's fine, honestly. It's kind of just an encounter to scare you the first time you run through it. After you do that, though, you do get this hammer, a Sentinel hammer or something like that, right? This thing replaces the Crucible for this DLC. We didn't even get anything like that in Ancient Gods 1. It'd probably be a little too strong if we did, but this thing is... Man, this thing's awesome. You get so many resources from this. Jumping down in here, though, they do spawn, like, what, 4 or 5, it feels like, Revenants. You take all these guys out, and the encounter will actually begin, really, this time. Cacodemons, Hell Knights, I mean, you name it, basically, they're gonna throw it at you in this area. It's one of those encounters where they kind of test you on everything, what you've learned, what you've been doing, all that jazz, right? But it also kind of shows you how to use that hammer, right? And you can always fill it with the charges that you see me picking up there, but it also charges off of glory kills and when you break off weak points. So keep that in mind. It's actually very useful and it's easy to keep up if you know how to do it. Now, it's a bunch of running around and dancing around these revenants, making sure you have ammo and armor and everything. You want to play it safe in here because it's a long encounter in here. It's not like super bad, but it can be, the roadblock on this mission if you're not careful. You just got the new tool, you're not going to be used to using it. It's alright. You take out the revenants, Arachnotron spawn. You can deal with them however you want. As you see, I like to use the jump pads in this room. Try to stay up off of the ground as much as I can, especially when there's a possessed Arachnotron in here. You want to get rid of him just with rockets, however you would prefer, of course. If you're, better at quick swapping, then go ahead and just do that. As soon as you take him out, though, as you see, there's a Tyrant now in here. I mean, it's not just one, I'm pretty sure there's 2. I've been running out of ammo, so I use the hammer for the first time, and it actually does a lot for me there. The hammer also stuns for a decent amount of time until you get the upgrade in a later mission. So, keep that in mind whenever you need just a breather too. If you have the hammer, you may not even need all the stuff. Just go ahead and throw it out there. You never know, it might save you. Just think about when you use it. So as you dance with the Tyrant in the room, you might as well fill up armor, ammo, anything you may need, because, it's done after that. This encounter is over after you take out the Tyrants, right? It feels like a lot more demons are in this encounter, a lot more enemies in general, but, you can actually breeze right through it if you just focus the heavy demons, and to be fair, that is kind of the formula in a lot of arena fights. It's just focusing down the heavy demons and then the fodder guys at the end if they want you to. Sometimes you don't even have to. But seeing that the Tyrant is here, I actually have ammo. I'm gonna actually commit to this guy at least a little bit. And he's finally done for. I do recommend running this room until you have routes down because this room's a little funky in how it's laid out. And as you kind of saw, I just never stop moving, use the monkey bars, use the jump pads. Don't stay on the ground floor for too long. Should be a-okay. Now, this is why I have the full auto on the combat shotgun now. The mod just makes it so much easier. On these enemies in particular, I tried, just brute forcing it in practice, and honestly, it wasn't worth the extra ammo cost, the extra dancing around them. What was worth it was just sucking it up,
using this goddamn mod on the combat shotgun. Because let's face it, I don't use this thing anyway. So why was I trying to hold on to the sticky bombs on it? There's no point. Just use it as a tool at this point and, you know, call it a day. Now, I know you can switch mods and everything and whatnot, but one of my quick swaps, my rocket launcher, is on, you know, the default for switching mods, right? So that's why you can see in the bottom right, it does say none. If I want to switch mods, I have to go into the touchpad menu and all that jazz, you know? Like, I have to manually change it, slowing down the combat flow and everything. So that's why I choose one, and I'm basically married to that mod on the weapon for the entire run. Now, I tried to cheese this a little bit, and I learned that you can't really cheese this encounter like that. Like, whenever you're done, try to go a little bit faster. No, you have to do the route properly. No going quick or whatever. Maybe I just wasn't fast enough. I don't know. But, you know, that encounter's over. The stone imps are introduced. Here's a new combat encounter instantly. They want to throw a bunch of specters at you. They want to throw, what, Mancubus in here? There's gonna be all sorts of noise. Revenants, man. Like, I know I said revenants aren't that bad, and in an area like this, they're really not that bad, but anything that you're not paying attention to could, you know, be the end of you. So, knowing that there's revenant specters and Mancubus, and there's probably arachnotrons as well, if I remember correctly. So, just know what's going to spawn so that you can act accordingly. You should be a-okay in this zone. There are jump pads if you need them. You don't really need a lot of them if you just use the meat hook, and there's a little grapple hook in the middle. Oh yeah, there's stone imps too, and dread knights, as you see. But you have mobility in this zone. You really do. You have the ability to not even be on the ground if you really want to. As you progress through this encounter, destroying whatever heavy demons are in front of you at that given moment, you will eventually hit the armored baron that spawns. And if you saw earlier, we have a rhythm down, we know what to do with them, but actually landing that in the heat of combat, under the pressure, can actually be a bit harder sometimes. And if you really want to, with Stone Imps, you saw I almost called it the Crucible. The Sentinel Hammer does take them out as well in just one hit. As you see too, I fuck up the rhythm, and the Armored Baron is allowed to re-armor up. It's not the end of the world, but with these guys you kind of want to one-cycle them so you don't have to deal with them for any longer than you actually have to, right? And he wasn't too far away from, you know, getting rid of them. Just had to do a little bit extra damage, and more cash money. I do try to just use the Crucible whenever there's a bunch of things around me, usually fodder. But, you know, that's only because I know I can recharge it really quickly, and there's charges in here. Here's the Mancubus, by the way. 2 Mancubus and a Cyber Mancubus, so you be ready for that if you attempt this, because they could easily catch you. And that combination of just 2 normal Mancubus and a Cyber Mancubus may not seem that scary, but, you know, any combination of demons can be scary if you get caught, you know, lacking, basically. So, with that encounter done, you can now do a little bit more traversal, which it's not much. This level has very small amounts of it until you get to the end, and you just do, like, what, a little bit more than all of this to get to the end, right? All these guys are just fodder, so, you know, farm your resources, get whatever you need off of them. Then you just keep on going. These soldiers are just going to try and stop you here and there. There's an Arachnotron. You know, get rid of him as fast as you can. Across the way, the Cyber Mancubus. I recommend just one ballista shot and then just throw the rockets at him. Should be a-okay. That's how I usually handle those guys at a range, just because, you know, a ballista shot is the fastest thing, basically, to get to them. Then the rockets hit them really hard as well, so I consider it the more consistent way for them, at a range, that is, of course. There's a Hell Knight that spawned there, but Lock on Burst is your best friend if you need it. Sentinel armor right there. Now, as you're walking through this area and jumping around, there is a BFG shot if you need it.
So in theory, you could use both shots of your BFG and get them both back in this one mission, but I find that there's not really much of a reason other than in that purple pull zone if you wanted to just get through that easier maybe. You get through here though, and they like to trap you in here with a bunch of imps on each side that try to swarm you. Then once you kill all the imps, you're gonna have to have the same thing happen to you but with pinkies. That's why the blood punch pickups are here, I think. Just dance around them, go up above them, do whatever you gotta with a pinky. Freeze them. It's one of the things I like to do. I like to get them bunched up, freeze them all. You know, if you need to, throw a frag grenade in there too. Maybe even, flame belch them if you need the armor. There's a lot of ways to handle the pinkies. I'm sure you know that if you've gotten this far. So, you do you. You find the preferred method you like and you do that. Going into this arena encounter, I always start it with going into the portal, targeting this whiplash and getting rid of them as fast as I can. I want to find every whiplash, get them out of there. There's like 2 of them, 2 or 3. And then I usually go for the Cyber Mancubus that you saw. This guy up here, right here. He does try to pressure you from up top here, but use the jump pads, use the portals, you should be okay. Now there is a second Cyber Mancubus down here, but he's less of a priority because he doesn't really come out of that little hut area. I mean, it's not a hut, obviously, but you know what I mean. He's in like a little fucking boxed-in area where he doesn't do much and he kind of hides, right? So he has this little cave spot, basically, and you have to go in there and pressure him. You have to make sure that these imps don't fucking stop. You look how many imps are there. They non-stop spawn if you don't take him out. So that's why I recommend just focus down the heavy demons. If you need the supplies, that's when you go for the imps, obviously, because there's so goddamn many of them. You take out Cyber Mancubus, that's gonna spawn 3 whiplashes, if I'm not mistaken. There's an example of just using the hammer to stop them from running around and getting away from you. You take out the whiplashes, though, pretty sure that there's also a few Hell Knights that are in the picture as well. And, once you see them, you're also going to see Cacodemons, right? Now, it's not that bad. There's only like, 3 of these guys each. So 3 Whiplashes, 3 Hell Knights, 3 Cacodemons. And all of it can be handled pretty effectively with just the Ballista and the Super Shotgun. Once you handle those guys, as you can see, you're going to have Pinkies to deal with too. Once you have Pinkies in here, there's also going to be Prowlers. Once you take out the Prowlers and some of the Pinkies, that is when they're going to spawn a Baron of Hell for you. I mean, it's only 1, so it's nothing to really worry about. A lot of it is just dancing around Prowlers and Pinkies, though, and as you noticed, a shit ton of imps. I mean, goddamn, there's so many of those goddamn things. You should never run out of armor, basically, in this entire arena fight. There are 2 Carcasses in here, so you should probably deal with them before the Baron of Hell is dead. But honestly, you really don't have to. It's just that I recommend it, obviously. I recommend always taking care of those guys first so that they are not annoying you throughout the entire encounter. They only annoy you for, 5-10 seconds maybe, if you're lucky. 1 second. After you do all of that, though, this encounter will be done. It's just a little bit of a doozy for the first encounter, first real encounter, I would say, with the hammer. This encounter does level it up. I mean, that is good. I know that other encounter with the Tyrants was really your first one with the hammer, but let's be honest, if you're playing this organically, that will be an encounter you probably don't use it a lot in. So, in here, you really get a feel for it, I think. This is where I got the most, reps in with the hammer, basically, in practice. So, this is where I'd recommend you obviously try it out the most as well. Since there's so many imps and everything, if you get a bunch of fodder, glory kills, that thing's always up. Now, I thought I was going the wrong way for a second. That's why you saw me dodge back. It was like, what the hell? If you can get here, though, you're almost done. There's an Armored Baron right here. Just stick to the old routine that you see me do each time, basically. I try to do this with every single one of them, and if it doesn't work, I do try to use like a plasma microwave beam to either pop them or stop them from actually doing the armor thing, or whatever. You can also, when you stun them, you can use the hammer as well. You come in here, 2 Cyber Mancubus spawn. I recommend hitting them with the hammer. Blood punch one of them, rocket the other one. There's a normal Mancubus behind you. He is nothing in comparison to those two. So if you can get through those two, you can get through him pretty easily, I would say. After doing that, though, you have to jump up here, and this is where they make you fight some Blood Makers. I'm pretty sure it's just 2 of them, and some Prowlers and some other noise, right? Just get your Precision Bolt out, get your Arbalests out, Ballista, sorry. Get whatever you need to actually take the guy out. Get ready for the Prowlers that are going to spawn after each one of them that you've killed. If you need to, just get stuff off of the Imps. It's nothing crazy. That's why you see a bunch of armor on the ground. I just always make sure to have that, even if I don't need it. Take out enough Prowlers, though. The other Bloodmaker spawns, I try to make them slam instantly so that I can get them to basically drop the shield. There's a 3rd Bloodmaker right here. I honestly thought there was only 2. Obviously, I misremembered. But there's 3. Deal with all those guys, and you should be good to progress. Now, when you do that, you're gonna jump onto these monkey boys. Well, they want you to. Then you'd get hit by this tentacle, right? So the plan for me was always to back off of it, break the Arachnotron turret, and take out the tentacle. Then you can focus on everything else that's actually, well, out here trying to get you. It's another Arachnotron and Baron of Hell. Thing is, though, by this point, you should have all the means to stop them from doing any real damage to you. There is another Baron of Hell, too, back there in the back. So, I recommend using the area you killed the Mancubus in. As you see, I backed up, kind of funneled them into that hallway. Easy pickings right there. The rest of that was just traversal area, right here to the very end, right? That's it. That's the World Spear, just like that. It is a rather interesting start to the DLC.